Hi, I'm Steve from Spire Agile, and this is the Agile Gardener. To start, it's worth remembering that nearly 50% of Agile transformations fail. Now that's a lot. So not falling into one of the 5 traps I'm going to talk about will help you ensure that you don't end up in that 50% failure bucket. Business and strategic agility has never been more important than it is today in 2022. And for the reasons why, check this video out. A successful transformation is the bedrock to achieving this. During my career, I've witnessed successful and unsuccessful Agile transformations, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 reasons why they fail and what you can do to help prevent that. If you didn't already know, some of the biggest companies in the world have successfully used Agile to achieve business agility and competitive advantage over their rivals. Microsoft, Netflix, and Google, to name a few. But they've each gone about it in different ways, and in part that's the secret of their success. And I'll discuss this more later, as it's one of the big 5 failure reasons. Right, let's get into it. Number 1. The number 1 failure point is leadership at all levels, which is probably no great surprise. Unfortunately, some leadership think that while they want business agility, it's something they can just decree and it shall be done. They can wave their magic wand and it will just miraculously happen. This is probably the biggest barrier for success. An interesting fact observed by Professor John Kotter's research is that he's never seen a successful Agile transformation that was led by waterfall leadership. That is food for thought. One of the common things I hear is we must perform while we transform, effectively telling everyone that while we must pick up these new ways of working, which takes time and practice, they must continue delivering. Apart from putting a lot of extra stress and pressure on everyone, what ultimately happens is that people continue to work in exactly the same way they always have, because they need to deliver. And the only way they can do that is to follow well-established and understood practices. And so they just go through the pretense of working in an agile way. Another common one is that middle management still force fixed time, fixed scope work on teams because they themselves are being pressured by their own layer of management, which just exacerbates the whole situation. So leadership, you need to truly buy into this in order to succeed, which means you need support and mentoring. There are no stupid questions. It's not weakness to ask for help. In fact, it takes true strength and courage. And by doing this, you will start to connect with your people at a deeper level, remembering that they're the experts in what they do, so listen to them and start building trust and mutual respect. I like Richard Branson's take on this. If you look after your staff well, they will look after your customers. Simple. Truer words were never spoken. So our responsibility as transformation leads, Agile coaches or Scrum Masters is to help make this happen through accessibility, empathy and education, working with leadership at all levels from day one, creating the psychological safe space needed in order for honest, open and transparent conversations. Number 2, the second biggest reason why Agile transformations fail is that they do not change the organisational structure. I'm sure you'll have heard that being Agile is about mindset and cultural change. Well, a company's culture is formed by the structure and hierarchy of the organisation. Now, if we don't change this, then the layers of bureaucracy, the command and control nature of most organisations doesn't change and just feeds our first problem from point 1, that leadership aren't aligned to the change. In order to support the change in the new ways of working, we need a flatter, less hierarchical structure. We need less silos and people grouped together with the necessary skills to deliver our products and services. This minimises the layers we need to go through to make fast decisions and speed up our delivery. So it might involve something like value stream mapping. I think people focus too much on mindsets and culture, none of which can be changed easily. An organisation already has this ingrained, and the only way of changing this is to make structural changes. It takes a revolution, not an evolution. Remember the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So be realistic and know that not everyone can accept this change or can move at the same pace as others. It will take time, empathy and staying humble. You need to have patience and stay the course. Now, Netflix succeeded in doing this by making structural changes that led to culture change. Their free-flowing and adaptable approach to management and organisational development is thought of by many as a gold standard. Their vision revolved around fluidity, iteration and evolution. They connected with their people by letting them see their vision and provided clear purpose, priorities and principles. And as we all know, their success led to disaster for poor old Blockbuster Video, who didn't do any of that. So a key point here is that Agile transformations are driven by people, so invest the time and money in hiring the right people to help ensure a successful restructure and to make it work once done. As change agents, we need to work with leadership to help them understand what good looks like, what kind of supporting structure will be needed in order to achieve Agile ways of working. Now here's a question for you. Why do you think other companies like Toys R Us didn't survive? Do you even remember Toys R Us? You've probably heard of Amazon, which is a clue. Let me know your thoughts and comments below, and please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Right, number 3. It's all about context and alignment to vision and needs. Organisations that try to copy and paste what's been done successfully elsewhere, for example, there was a whole spate of everyone trying to copy what came to be known as a Spotify model, end in failure. And thinking that you can take off-the-shelf solutions from snake oil salesmen such as management and professional service consultancies or scaled solutions, mentioning no names here, but you know who you are. One begins with M, the other with P, and the last with S. Ends in chaos. Copy and paste doesn't work. Every organisation is different, and so is the solution. And agile transformation needs to be adapted to their unique context. So continuous improvement needs to be built in from the start. Never stop experimenting and innovating. You won't get there first time, so fail fast by having short feedback loops. Failing fast is a good thing, as it gives us the knowledge to fix it faster. Organisations will require external help when starting their journey, so as agile coaches, we need to help empower employees to own the transformation and encourage the organisation to build their own internal coach network. You need skin in the game for this to work, a personal vested interest in success. Number 4. Okay, the next biggest reason for failure is a lack of servant leadership. And I don't simply mean at the top, I mean right the way throughout the organisation. The thing about servant leadership is you don't need to be a leader to practice it. Leadership is a choice you make rather than the place you sit. It's about your influence, not your position. This isn't new and it's been around for a long time, but I personally believe we're going to see a revolution in this area, as I don't believe we can continue working in rigid hierarchies and in command and control ways, not with all the change that's happening in the world and with people's changing attitudes to work, particularly over the last couple of years. What we mean by servant leadership is truly listening to people, having empathy, foresight, stewardship, self-awareness and persuasion. And if you want to know more about servant leadership, click the video up here now. So my recommendation, if you're starting or going through an agile transformation, or even if you're not, is to start with servant leadership. This is something we can all do. And finally, number 5. This is a lack of understanding about what agile really is in 2022 and treating it as the objective. Agile's not the goal. Business and strategic agility is, which is simply delivering the right product or service to the customer at the right time, creating value for them, being able to change quickly based on feedback and market conditions, and doing all of this faster than the competition to gain competitive advantage. So there is no end point. There's no point in time when you can sit back and say, we're finally agile. It's a continuous journey. The core focus must be on the customer, satisfying their current and future needs. Agile is just the vehicle we're going to use to get there. And to be clear, when we say agile, we also mean lean, design and systems thinking, as well as flow. So again, to remedy this one, we need to get involved with leadership to help their understanding through education and mentoring. Number 6. Okay, I said there are only 5 reasons, but this one's a bonus. And unfortunately for this one, there's little that can be done. Transformation is always doomed when it's done for this reason, which is cost cutting, basically to reduce headcount. It's sold as an agile transformation, but really the underlying objective here is simply to cut costs. It's the good old-fashioned restructure, which has always been used for this reason. They're just calling it something else now. So if you've ever been part of a transformation, you know it's not easy. As agile coaches, it's our responsibility to help organisations find their own sustainable way for improvement, helping them towards their goal. I hope this video provided awareness about the cause of transformation failure and helped pointed you in the right direction of where to start, what to do and what not to do. Okay, that's it for this one. I'll see you next time.